evening, my loves. Or good afternoon. I'm filming this in the afternoon. Got sent home from work sick today and decided we might as well do something fun. Because turns out I really only needed like 2 hours to get over the rest of that crap. So we are going to knit a hat. It's not loom knit. Usually we loom knit, but we're not. If you are watching this, Spook, stop it. If you are watching this on Haunted Hollows, hello and thank you for joining us, and I'm so glad you're here. If you are watching this on YouTube, why are you not in Haunted Hollows? Because I forgot to share it with you guys. I'm aware. There's a link in the bottom of this video. Haunted Hollows is a book event and a free virtual event. It has authors and it has vendors and it has lots of games and it has prizes you can win. I myself am doing 2, possibly 3 giveaways. I have 2 for sure that I'm doing for participants, and you just have to interact with the posts in order to be involved. Spook is being a spook. And the 3rd giveaway, Miss Becky Logan with Scentsy has a party link set up for the group, and if we earn rewards on it, I'm going to use those rewards to get one other participant. It'll be a completely different drawing, still out of participants, a Scentsy gift. All right, and check this out. I have Sally and Zero Scentsy buddies up here. I was going to pull Jack up here, but my niece and nephew have this tendency of taking his jacket off, and he looks really weird without his jacket on, and I don't know where they put his jacket. I didn't want to have a naked Jackie up here. So we have, I'm going to move this crystal ball here for a moment. We have a Sally sitting up here. Look at her, she's so pretty. So pretty. I love her. And then we also have Zero up here. I'm only missing one Without Santa Jack from this set. And if I could get it, I would be entirely so happy. But I haven't been able to find it anywhere because they no longer sell these ones. And all I'm missing is Oogie Boogie. Sally's head is a little back there, but she's a rag doll, so that's okay. We're going to set this by my fake hexes and spells book here. Alright. So, we are going to review a book. If you haven't been here before, hi, my name is W.A. Ashes. You can just call me Ashes. I just go by Ashes. And it's not in a whole, I only want to go by my last name thing. No, it's not my actual last name. It's just a nickname that became my last name and my pen name. So, you can call me Ashes, and we knit and review books. And so, we are going to review a book today. We are going to review Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone by Benjamin Stevenson. Yes. By Benjamin Stevenson. And we are going to knit a hat, which usually I loom knit hats, but I saw this pattern that I wanted to try, and so I took a pattern that I use on loom knits and applied it to this pattern, and I'm making, I know this is a Halloween event, so bear with me, but I'm making a Santa hat, a Santa belt hat. The actual pattern called for a purl stitch. I haven't purl stitched since I first learned how to knit, and so I didn't do it on this pattern, but the next hat I use my needles for, I will attempt a purl stitch. Alright, but it's been a long time, and it's basically a reverse stitch of what we normally do, and it's called a purl stitch because it leaves a purl, it leaves a bump on the hat, and so, or a scarf or whatever you use it on. So we will attempt that on the next one, but this is just your basic knit stitch. 70 across. I have no idea what size these ones are. They're a corded needle set with, you know, your built-in lifeline. So, as I said, our book is Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone by Benjamin Stevenson. It is crime fiction, and I did not write down half of the crap that I should have on here because, as you know, we've been very behind, and I did not fill out entirely some of these pages. But I have my notes, so we're going to go over the notes, and then I have the actual review, like, rating, so we'll go over that too. But it is crime fiction. It's kind of murder mystery. It is murder mystery, but It's a different type of murder mystery. Don't go into this thinking Agatha Christie or Murder, She Wrote or anything like that. Our main character is Ernest, and his family, he's a black sheep because he turned his brother into the law. Because he witnessed his brother, someone, all right? And so he turned him into the law, and he shows up to this family reunion where he doesn't want to be, but he was kind of blackmailed into being there, and then finds out his brother also just got out of prison on parole and will be there, and so he's worried that his brother's going to hate him. But it turns out his brother actually really appreciates what he did because it technically kept him safe. And so then he starts telling his brother Ernest, guys, boys, get down. Now you, Tara. He starts telling his brother Ernest all about these secrets and that he needs to fix something. And so a lot of family secrets come up in here, and the title does not lie. Everyone in this book that is related to Ernest, everyone in his family, has killed someone. It might be someone different. It could be themselves, all right? But everyone in the family has killed someone, all right? So Ernest is a mystery writer. He talks about how writers have a secret club with secret writing rules and how all mystery writers tend to abide by these writing rules, right? He says that he's not really a reliable narrator, but he tries to be. It is written in first person. Not in the sense of, I guess it's not really first person, but it is. It's not like I did this or I did that. You know the narrator, he's talking to you and he's telling you the story, okay? But you're not the narrator. You're not Ernest. He has a young aunt who's closer in his age, Aunt Catherine. And Aunt Catherine is really strict. Then there is this quote in it I liked, and it said, "There is nothing sadder than a man sticking up for a woman who could stick up for herself." Because one of his uncles, stands up and tries to defend his wife, but his wife is more strong-willed than him and has more of a backbone. And so to Ernest, it just kind of looks pathetic and like he's doing it basically just to get laid. He's got really, I guess we all probably do, he's got really dull outlook on most of his family members. And I guess this reminded me of a really bad Thanksgiving or Christmas dinner, when all your far off relatives get together and someone's going to bring up politics and someone else is going to say something homophobic and someone else is going to say something possibly racist, and you're just sitting there and you have to keep your mouth shut because there's so many opinions and you don't want to get in trouble, you don't want to start anything. And it reminds me of that type of situation. He goes into this, he doesn't want to be there. Everyone here thinks they have control over his life. Everyone here has opinions. He doesn't want to share any of his, but he's a full-grown adult, okay? His aunt, who's closer to his age, he calls more of a cousin. And they do something called reunion bingo. And so, reunion bingo, they made a... I'm going to be honest, I don't think that this is his aunt. I think this is his stepsister. I think. But they make a reunion bingo card, and they make a bingo card out of all the random crap that could happen, and they have to see who can fill their bingo card first. As I said, he witnessed his brother, someone. He has rough family ties. It's Agatha Christie-ish, but not full-blown in the, sense of 1800s language kind of thing. It's very much modern language. He talks to the reader, talks to the editor in the book, and breaks the fourth wall literally all the time. And this is like you're sitting across from Ernest in not even a coffee shop. I would say you're sitting across from Ernest in the darkened corner of a bar, listening to him tell you this story is what it feels like. There's cigarette smoke in the air, there's stained green glass lamps around, and y'all have a old-fashioned or a cranberry vodka in your hand type of situation. There are affairs going on in this story. There are actually 2 of them, and when he discovers them, he realizes that it kind of destroys his family. One of them is, well, both of them involve him. His wife and his brother are involved, and his sister-in-law, and so it's all really rough there. The narrator can be condescending at times. He does talk to audiobook readers too, which I found interesting because I read this in audiobook, and he flat out calls you out. It's kind of creepy. He's like, if you're an audiobook, which you probably are, then you won't notice the spelling, but it's spelled like this. And then he breaks it down, and it's a little creepy because there are certain things that he'd do. He'd be like, I bet you're sitting there like this, doing this, and it was exactly what I was doing. And I was like, what the heck? Are you here, Ernest? He talks about how the difficulty of having to testify against blood relations. He does give you spoilers for the book. Right at the beginning, he tells you things. And he flat out tells you, this is a spoiler, but you need to know this going in. And so he does kind of spoil his own story, which is different. There is child death involved. There's descriptions of decomposition. So if you're squeamish, there's a scene where he has to go into the back of his brother's truck because his brother gets locked into a room because no one trusts him, and there's another unrelated, okay? They don't see how it's related because the person's not related to them. But there's another murder on this property at this ski resort that they're staying at. And so everyone's first suspect is the convicted murderer. And so they lock him in a broom closet, okay? And he goes willingly. But he tells his brother, he goes, yo, there's something in the back of my truck that you need to look at. It's why I came up here. And his brother's like, what do you mean? He goes, I can't tell you. You just have to go. So his brother goes, and he doesn't know what he's expecting, but it turns out that there's, like, a coffin. And in this coffin is, you know, bodies. And so there is some descriptions of decomposition there, because this coffin had been buried for quite a while before his brother dug it up. And so if you are a little squirmish, when he gets in the back of the truck, I would skip it all the way to the part where the truck starts rolling backwards. All right? That's what I would do if I were you. However, there is one little thing in there that is a spoiler if I tell you, and that one little thing you do need to know. So if you do skip that scene and you want to know about it, you can always message me and I will tell you briefly what happened, what he discovers hidden inside that coffin. Okay? His father, his stepdad, who was also the family's lawyer at one time, tells him that anger is as much an heirloom as any Rolex, and I thought that was really good because the Rolex was something that he discovers. Again, not really a spoiler, just something's random that you find out. He discovers that this Rolex was supposed to be an heirloom from his dad for him or his brother, and his new father is wearing it. His stepfather has always wore it, but his stepfather's wearing it because he wants to keep it up to date and clean, and he wants to give it to him when he's older. It's not a stealing the heirloom thing, but his stepfather mentions that the anger over his father's death and everything that involved in it, because everything goes back to his father dying and his father being shot by the police and his little brother dying in an overheated car. Okay, everything goes back to those 2 deaths in this book, okay? And his stepfather tells him that the anger from that situation, but that their mother felt that from it was inherited by both of the living boys, both of the surviving boys, and so he was waiting until they had worked out their problems to give them the heirlooms because he didn't want them to feel anger when they saw it, basically. He wanted them to remember their dad as their dad and not all the crap that went down around him. I never thought of Australia having snow. I'm going to be honest. This takes place in Australia. In my mind, Australia was a giant desert or oasis. Apparently, Australia has snow. Has ski resorts. I'm sorry, Australia. They don't They don't educate us on that. That's pretty cool. Clue meets Agatha Christie is basically the vibe of this. I was half right at the end of this book. So that did affect my score, because when I go into mystery books, if I can solve them immediately, I'm less impressed with them. If I can solve them, I'm less impressed with them. If I can solve them immediately, I'm not impressed at all. This one I was only half right, and I was so happy about that. It was very intricate. The last quote that I really like says, "Family is not whose blood runs through your veins, but who you'd spill it for, who you'd spill the blood for." And I thought that was really good, and he talks about all these interconnections that his family has, because his family isn't just blood related. There's, you know, people who married in, and then there's found family who eventually married in, and things like that. And so he talks about finding your loyalties, where your loyalties lie. So when it came time to review this book, I looked at our little wheel, and I asked myself what to give it. Writing, I gave it 4, because he put a lot of effort into it. It just, sometimes he was very condescending. Enjoyment, I gave it 4 because of the spoilers that he would sometimes give me. I was like, what the heck, guy? Why are you doing this? Why are you telling me this? Setting was 5. It was very well described. Readability was 5. Plot was 5. Characters were 5. There were so many characters in this book, and you never once asked yourself who is talking. You could tell exactly who was talking if you left the page and came back. Everyone had a different voice, and that is hard to achieve in literature, so he definitely deserved that 5. So when I added all this up and divided it by our 6 categories, we got 4.6, which rounds it up to a solid 5 stars. He apparently now has 2 more books out. When I finished this review, I thought he only had 2 out. So maybe the 3rd one just came out. But I'm going to have to read the rest of the series, because I want to see if it follows a similar narration system or not. And so I will be reading that, hopefully. So that is Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone. I will link it down below, of course, and I will link our next book, which is not filled out. Uh-oh. Someone's got work to do. It's me. I got work to do. Our next book is The Midnight Library by Matt Haig, H-A-I-G. All right? So that one, I will warn you going in, is extremely sad. And I should not have read it when I was depressed. But it turned out to be really good. So I will link the next book down below, and this book down below, and the Haunted Hollows book event down below. It's on Facebook. Go join the group. I will approve all requests to join the group as soon as I see them. I actually think I have it set as automatic approval right now. I usually turn that on for these big events. This is the second to last big event in the group. So you do want to join this group, because even if you don't participate in this one, coming up in December is an event you are not going to want to miss, all right? So go join Facebook, Ashes and Ink Readers Group, and come hang out with us. You'll see me on there as both my personal account and my author account. And then in November, 2 days, I got to start putting together our next big event and our last big event of the year, which is Advent. And I have 25 authors for that one. Actually, I think it goes further, because we wanted to include Hanukkah and Kwanzaa in it. So I think it actually goes all the way to the new year. I think it goes through January 1st. But we have an author for every single day. That author gives you 1 free book for that day. All right, they sent one of their books for free. So it's like a stuff your Kindle, but it's a different book every day. And I usually have the authors keep their books free for at least 24 hours. I try to have them do 72, just because it's easier for people if you miss one. But I don't require the 72. I require 24 hours. So yeah, you're going to want to be part of that, because you can stuff your Kindle with all sorts of cool books. And it is indie authors, so they're not traditionally published. They're independently published, and this is a big event for them to get their books out there. And a lot of people do holiday books during this. Some people don't. Some people do horror books because they're horror authors. Some people do romance books because they're romance authors. Some people do fantasy books. Some people do sci-fi. It's awesome. We have everyone. We have books from every walk of life. We have people from every walk of life. We have books celebrating all the different winter festivities and holidays, and it's just a great event. So I hope to see you guys all there, and I hope you have a great day. I'm starting to sound nasally because all the gunk is building back up. But I'm going to let you go, and I will see you guys later as I work more on the hat. Bye, guys, and thank you all for being here. Bye, souls.